I was at the office and a call came out that there were some armed robbers. And one of my squad mates got behind it and they were in a pursuit.
God, be with me, God. Send my little angel.
A high-speed police shootout played out last month. It started with an armed robbery in Santa Fe. The video shows officers having to return fire through their own windshields as the suspects shoot at them going 100 miles per hour.
Once I got behind the vehicle, they started beginning shooting at me.
The suspect had switched seats with a man, and Demas begins to open fire from the passenger seat.
They shot at me several times.
A female driver placed an order, then pulled a gun and demanded money. You can see the green laser sight. After she receives the cash, she speeds off. Santa Fe County deputies catch up with the vehicle and the chase begins. State police officers and deputies return fire, some of them shooting through their own windshields. The chase reaches speeds of 100 miles per hour.
I mean, you've been on the job for a long time. You're a cop's cop. You're a police clinician. Going through this critical incident, which was a violent encounter, how did this impact you?
You know, Nick, this one, at first, not so bad, but then I started having anxiety and I was waking up with dreams of the bullets passing by me. And my wife said I was having a lot of nightmares the first week. The sheriff's department opened up a detective spot and I was able to test for detectives. I can tell you that when I went back to work after my administration leave, I had a lot of anxiety being in my same unit. I was pretty nervous. I had a lot of anxiety. I'm blessed because, as you said, I am a mental health counselor and I have a lot of great resources around me. So I was doing my own therapy, doing EMDR treatment that I do for myself to other first responders that I treat. And I think that really helped me. But as you know, it's sometimes just takes time. Sometimes it takes 3 to 4 weeks to process an incident. And I actually think I probably went back a little bit too soon. I probably should have waited a little bit longer.
The half-hour chase then has a dramatic ending.
It wasn't so much as far as the shooting. I think once the adrenaline wore off, it just really hit me that, man, I could have died that day. And I was blessed that I didn't get shot.
Multiple shots fired, still shooting us from the back window.
You know, I think we're just trained as first responders. We just react to the actions of those individuals. And I never in a million years thought that day I was going to be in a gunfight doing about 120 miles per hour down a pretty rural area road where we just exchanged multiple rounds. And I'm very, very lucky that none of those rounds hit me. And that put everything in perspective for me. I mean, I can retire here pretty soon, as you said. And, you know, I definitely want to make it to retirement and not be shot.
And this comes on the heels of 2 other critical incidents that you were involved in. Another OIS recently within the last 6 to 8 months.
Stabbing his mom.
And we can get her medical attention.
Deputies found her outside the home and carried her out toward the road. Paramedics got there minutes later.
I haven't checked him out yet. Just load her up.
Meanwhile, other deputies tried to get Santana to come out of the home.
Done yet? Come out here. Come over here, done yet? Get over here. We got to get you help, bro.
But once he did, it's clear Santana was very troubled. Deputies saw him standing on the patio covered in blood, stabbing himself in the neck with glass from a broken bottle. Santana then picked up a wooden fence post off the ground while walking toward officers yelling, "Just kill me."
He's got a bat now.
Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies kept yelling at Santana to stop.
Stop. Stop right there.
But he did not, and as he raised the wooden fence post over his head, deputies fired their tasers and gun almost simultaneously.
Shots fired, Santa Fe, shots fired.
Deputies moved in to try and help.
We gotta give first aid, man. Go get your first aid kit or something. Come on, let's try and save this guy.
another when you're on the highway and you saved a little baby from choking.
Mexico sheriff's deputy is being hailed as a hero for saving the life of a 1-year-old girl. Dash cam video shows Deputy Patrick Ficke pulling over a car that had been driving erratically. Well, he noticed that the driver's daughter was choking. He called 911 and then started the infant Heimlich maneuver and got the baby to cough up the Cheeto that she was choking on. Well, she's okay now, and Deputy Ficke says he's glad he was there at the right time.
You know, I was blessed just to be in the right place at the right time and really help the parents of this little baby who's choking on a Cheeto and get it out of her. To me, that's what the job's all about, is helping people. And I didn't feel like a hero or anything like that. Cops around the nation and police officers and sheriff's deputies, law enforcement, they do that every day. I didn't feel like there's anything special that I did. I was just doing what I signed up to do, and that's to help people. I know that sounds like a cliche, but ultimately we're there to help the public, and it takes a certain person to do that. As you know, Nick, we go to the horrible things people see that nobody else wants to talk about, and not many would run to. As people are running, we're running into the danger, and other people are running away. And although for the baby, you know, I was just blessed I could help those parents out, because nobody wants to see a child hurt. And I have a small little girl. I couldn't imagine losing my little girl because they choked to death. So I was just glad I was right there at the right time to help them.
As I hear you talk about it, you can see, like, as you're reliving it, it brings emotion, which is amazing that you have the vulnerability and the strength to be able to show. Just for any of our cops around the country who are experiencing all that they're experiencing right now, what would you have to say to them?
Yeah, you know, Nick, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is more for the mental health aspect, and let people know that it is so important you take care of yourself and do self-care. If you don't do self-care and you're involved in incidents like I am, it's going to affect you. It's going to bring you down. You're going to have a lot of anxiety and depression. I can tell you, after my the second shooting where the individual came at us and I ended up having to shoot at him, I did everything I could to save that individual. I never wanted to hurt or kill that guy. At the end of the day, we're trained to stop the action. I never wanted to hurt him. I'm sure he was a great individual who probably was just having a bad day, and it's just unfortunate because he tried to hurt one of my fellow deputies. You know, it was either I stopped his action, or I let my fellow deputy probably get some great bodily harm, brain damage, or actually die. But then I moved straight into trying to save him, and that one affected me because I just did everything I could to save him, and I was everybody acts different in critical incidents. As you know, some people run, some people freeze, and some people fight. In that one, some of the paramedics kind of froze, and I think that upset me. When you're actively trying to save somebody and then you can't, and all of those of you out there who've tried to save somebody, you're doing CPR or any type of first aid, combat medicine, rescue measures, it definitely is sobering, and we don't want to lose it. We just want to save people. And at least that's why I got into this job, and again, and not to sound like a cliche, but you know, we want to make a difference. For me, not being able to save that guy, you know, I felt bad. I went back several days later. I talked to the aunt who was there and witnessed him stabbing her sister and his mother. And, you know, we cried together, and I held her. And it was I just felt bad. Even now I get choked up because I offered them to buy them groceries or do whatever I could. And I just couldn't imagine being in that aunt's position, just because it was horrible. But for those of you who've been in these situations, like, take care of yourselves. Because if you don't, that anxiety, depression is going to sneak up on you. And you're never going to forget the situation. but it will definitely help with anxiety and depression. And doing self-care is so important. To me, that day shit got real, and it really hit home that, man, definitely could have died that day. And definitely would like to see my kids grow older. And, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for my brothers and sisters. And now going to detectives, took a little bit different roles just to kind of slow down the pace a little bit.
What message would you have for cops who have gone through an extensive amount of cumulative stress and trauma?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, I'm human. So has there been days where I'm down and depressed, and I tell my clients, hey, go do cardio, go work out, because that's the best thing for anxiety and depression. But there's days that I didn't do that. But I know in my mind, that's what I should be doing. I know that because I preach it and I teach this stuff and to all my clients, I definitely try to follow with what I preach. I know how important hitting the gym and cardiovascular activity, to include yoga, is for your mental health. And I can't preach that enough, even to myself. Nick, some people shut down, some people talk about it. For me, talking about them and kind of really just explaining my feelings about them helps me process. Other people don't like to talk about it, but then there's like the treatment EMDR that I do, the eye movement reprocessing desensitization, which really helps individuals who are maybe more introverts and don't want to talk about the critical incident.
And what made you want to come and share this and help reach our cops?
Well, Nick, I think you do a great job, man. I'm very impressed by you. I think the Resiliency Project does an amazing job reaching out to police officers across our nation and really, promoting mental health. And me being involved in these, the reason why I wanted to do this today was to tell all of you out there, take care of yourselves. This job is a very thankless job. And if you're doing it for, whatever reasons you're doing it, it's a dangerous job. And as Nick, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to destroy everything that's ever loved you. I myself have learned the hard way, when you don't take care of yourself, everything around you will be destroyed, because you start circling that drain, and ultimately it's a whole ripple effect. When you're doing good and you're positive, you're gonna just shed that positive energy across your inner circle into your family. When you're being negative or you're shut down, you're not talking to your spouse or loved one or your partner, then they think something's wrong and they don't know how to help you. So shutting down is probably one of the worst things you can do. And that's going to be a negative ripple effect where people aren't going to want to be around you. And then what a lot of cops do, which is one of the worst things, is they start hitting the bottle or drinking a lot or take pain medicine. And that, again, is one of the worst things you could do. This job, some of you, it's 20 years, some of you, it's 25 or 30 years. And it's the best job in the world. It is a lifestyle. But on the way to getting your 30, 25, or 20, don't forget about the people who love you. Because at the end of the day, the departments, you're just a number. And they really, they're going to try and give you resources and stuff. But when something big happens, most departments aren't there to have your back. Your families will be, and your loved ones. So don't forget them along the way.
Have you seen what happens when agencies prioritize mental health and create a culture of wellness? Have you seen that impacts morale and the continuity of operations of the department?
Those departments that really give their people time when they're in a stressful situation to even do critical incident debriefs, you can just show the benefits it has. And the research across the nation shows that the departments are open to mental health and really taking care of their officers and their brothers and sisters in blue. Those are the ones who typically will hit their retirement and not burn out. And part of what we've really been preaching to the New Mexico law enforcement is peer support and making sure you look out for your brothers and sisters, because if you don't, the last thing we want to do is see somebody, especially an officer, hurt themselves. with those individuals who get the help, typically we see them do a lot better and prosper in their lives and get through whatever critical incident or mental health issue they're having.
You're an amazing guy, so easy to talk to, no judgment, wealth of knowledge and experience, the kind of person that you'd want to call on your worst day. And you opening up today is just a testament to your character and the strength that you possess and how resilient you are in the face of so much adversity. And so I just wanted to thank you for your vulnerability and your openness to share with our first responder community. Thank you.
All right, Nick. Hey, will you take care? God bless and have a happy new year, man.
God bless. Thank you. You too.